The last 2 weeks have not been great at all. One day we're up a couple of hundred points, the next day we lose almost all of these, and the following day we are deep in the red again. It's been the case for the last 2 weeks. So where these coming weeks actually bringing us when in terms of the whole market is going, especially what we look at the top 5 things to watch next week, and the Fed meeting being at the center of everything, Evergrande being another thing, and also central banks all over the globe are also looking at this thing like this. It's now the number one risk for investors in the market: inflation. Well, it depends on how you position yourself, because I don't expect inflation to be bad for all equities in the market. So what exactly am I talking about? Let's go into details. You can see here right on the right hand side of my screen, this is the futures: US 30 for the Dow Jones, US 500 for the S&P 500. So slightly on the red. And when you look at other markets, the Asia-Pac markets like Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, they are in the green. So usually they are in the green expecting some good news, but they have a total different market circumstances with potentially the top real estate giant, China Evergrande, potentially collapsing. So things are a little bit different there with what's happening there. But when you look at Europe hasn't opened yet, so we cannot really have a feel of what is going on there. But let's look at the top 5 things that may drive the market this coming week in the direction of the other. So first of all, we have the Federal Reserve meeting. That will be on September 22nd, that is Wednesday, and they're going to disclose what they're trying to do and what they see the economy going, and then everybody's have all the eyes on, well, when it's gonna be the tapering. When are they gonna stop buying back 120 billion worth of bonds every single month? And once they pull that free money in the market as a stimulus, man, they're gonna be a shift in the market. I believe personally that some of these shifts, of these changes, are already being priced by some of the investors in some pockets of the market, but not all of them. Then you have the economic data that are going to come on the actual state of the housing market. That's going to be released on September 21st, and the building permits as well, September 21st, plus the new home sales and the existing home sales. That will be on September 22nd. Moving on to now the stock markets, the equity markets. Well, we have the monetary policy due to the Fed's tapering risk, which is going to be at the center, as I mentioned. But keep in mind that September has traditionally been a weak month for equity markets so far. But this year we've been down 2%. But we have an interesting news coming from potentially earnings on FedEx, General Mills, Nike, Costco, and you can have a feel of where the economy is standing, or whether or not Delta variant impact so far on some of the pockets of the economy is looking like. Now, other central banks, not only the Fed, but other central banks like the Bank of Japan is going to meet also on September 22nd and have their decision on rates. Same thing for the Bank of Norway and also the Bank of England, which is going to close this on September 23rd. And crunch time for Evergrande. Well, Evergrande is one of the, if not the biggest Chinese property developer, and it's actually facing default on hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in interest rates that they weren't able to pay. And the thing is, lots of banks, lots of institutional investors in the US and around the globe have exposure to this company, have exposure to this market. So if this company is falling down, which likely is the case, but on Friday we had some news around the Chinese government, fueling $14 billion into this company to try to save them. So what is it going to be? It's going to have likelihood to impact most of the market, even here in the US. So another major event that's going to capture the whole attention of the markets these coming weeks. But I feel like so far Wall Street especially have not really been, like whatever, you don't know. So this is what we have to look. And also from the political side of things, we have the debt ceiling. Man, the US are on the brink of facing a debt default, which with the US Treasury, it's setting up the alarm like, hey guys, Congress, senators, Democrats, Republicans, White House, you have to do something here, because if the US have a default on the debt, man, there's going to be a huge impact, not only on everything that is getting purchased from a credit or a mortgage standpoint, which you have to borrow money, it's going to just skyrocket, impact on interest rates, inflation, slow down, recession. So, I mean, job loss with what we've experienced so far in 2020, it's going to be a disaster. So this is what she's saying, and I feel like this is an annual going back and forth. I mean, we've seen this year in and year out. Every year, it's really like the year before that. They struggle, they fight. It's really a political leverage, I believe, sometimes that, some of the people in power are trying to pull in order to get some answers or some favors, on some push on the agenda. But I don't think people in power now, especially seeing what we're getting out of, are going to let this slide, because it have major implications on not only financial markets, economy, job market, everything. So we have to keep in mind, to keep an eye and a close eye on these things. But overall, all of these things might potentially have an impact on one of the favorite stock we like so far, AMC. But you cannot just predict the future. So we'll have to just wait and see how things unfold on Monday, and especially Friday, the last day of the week.